Hello everyone. Dit is natural speaking version 10. It's not so advanced as version 11, of course, but I think it's doing pretty well. And I show you, and compared with the one in Windows 7 or Camtasia 7.1, it might be better, but we have to see how it works out. Now, in this case, the microphone is off, so the system doesn't recognize. Sorry, I have to cough. I got a heavy cold, So the system, and talking about natural speaking system, doesn't recognize what I'm saying. So now when I click on it, it becomes green, and then I start reading something from a book, one of my favorite books. And when he doesn't do it right, a word, then I go I go up and go to words and go to new. At least that's my intention, and put in that specific word, and then I click on add, and then the system asks me to pronounce the word, because the computer was not able to understand that word. So I did that already before, just a moment ago, and then, for instance, I had the word naturally, the difference between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense. And the ordinary sense may puzzle the beginner. So in that word naturally, the computer didn't understand. So I went here, words, and new, and put in that word naturally. And then the system asked me, as I said before, to speak it, and I did. And then I could go on. And when I read it again, it was okay. He could find the word. So now I will probably the first sentence will be okay. And when I want to say something to you, then I go back here, if the mic is green, and I click on it and it's red, and then I can say something, because everything what I'm saying, I can show you, but everything I'm saying is being recorded. Okay? So, naturally, the difference between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense may puzzle the beginner, and it would have been better if the scientist had made up a new word for this purpose. And now we see nothing. You see that? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I'm coughing a lot, and then I go to the pause key, but we have two pause keys. We have pause key from the video recorder, or no, the tutorial recorder, and we have another one, and the other one is this. So, but I said, and now we see. And now we see nothing. That's what I said. And the system, translated in, and now we see nothing, right? So I delete it, and then we try it again. Naturally, the difference between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense may puzzle the beginner, and it would have been better if the scientist had made up a new word for this purpose. So I started here, right? Naturally, the difference between and work. That's you make that up. In the word is in the scientific sense and work. Merk has to see work. You know, he made work. May present to beginner, and it would have been better if the scientist had made up a new word for the. That's excellent. That's excellent, right? But this is no. So now we're going to, and we're going to do something about it. So we go to work. Oh, sorry. We go to new, and then we type in work. And then we click here. And click on go. Work. Okay. Now we do it now again. Naturally, the difference between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense may puzzle the beginner, and it would have been better if the scientist had made up a new word for this purpose. You see, he did it right now, right? He makes that put in the work between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense. Yeah, my pursue is he said, but that's not right. There was puzzle. So we're going to do that one more time to correct, and then we won't do that. I think you got the idea. Go to Word, and go to New, and we type in puzzle. Puzzle. Okay. Naturally, the difference between work in the scientific sense and work in the ordinary sense may puzzle the beginner, and it would have been better if the scientist had made up a new word for this purpose. Yeah, that's excellent. So I'm going to talk a little bit more from that book, and there will be some garbage, but I try to speak as best as I can, right? However, this was not done, and that's that. Eventually, I shall try to explain the scientific meaning of work, but for the moment, we can get along with our intuitive understanding that work is that which is usually the result of making an effort. Let's see. However, this was not done, and that's that. Eventually, I didn't put if I say dot or if I say period, I think period is the word. Then he put down the dot, right, at the end of a sentence, and then he started a new sentence with a capital. So he didn't do that, of course. but this is the new one. Eventually I shall try to explain the scientific meaning of work, but for the moment we can get along with our intuitive understanding that work is that which is usually the result of making an effort. That's excellent, excellent. So let's go on. Have a look at my book. Scientists have also found it convenient. Now I heard a bell. I don't know for what. Oh, I think I know. Wow. I have to put in the cursor here, right? Scientists have also found it convenient to make use of a term to describe the capacity of any object to do work. Period. For this purpose, the word energy was adopted. Period. Originally, it meant simply activity and comes from a Greek word energos, meaning active. Period. You see, he put the period there down, and you see, for this purpose it started with a capital after I said period. For this purpose the word energy was adopted. Originally it meant simply activity and comes from the Greek word, it was for me difficult to pronounce it too, so it's certainly difficult for the computer to pick it up, right? Energos. Sorry. So he made anglos, meaning active. Now for the rest, I mean, it's great, it's fantastic. So I will go and finish this alinea and then I stop, want I'm not very much in a condition to talk without using the pause key a lot, right? So there we go. However, the Greek word breaks energy down to N between brackets En and ergon between brackets work, comma, so that something with energy can be thought of as having work in it. Again, the scientific definition of energy is precise and mathematical, comma, but again we can rely, comma, for the moment, comma, on our intuitive understanding of the term, period. So it was a difficult sentence for the computer, because see, between brackets, and then I'm sure he's going to put that down if you can know the word bracket. However, the Greek word breaks energy down to between N to N, and then between brackets, I said, but he said practice. And a problem between brackets works, so it's something the energy can be thought of as having worked in it, and that I forgot to set the period, I think. Sorry guys, I don't see the pause key. Wow. Now I think I'm going to stop. I hope you see the possibilities of something great, in my opinion, here, right? I think it's fantastic, you know. I really think it is. The only thing I need to find the pause key when I cough, and I don't see it at the moment. But that's okay. I mean, I'm going to make another one, right? Okay, I hope to see you back.